What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown live show. My name is Joey Petersen. I am your host, and happy bye week to you all. There is no way, 0% chance, the Baltimore Ravens could lose this weekend, and for that, I just got to give a quick little hallelujah. Honestly, though, given what the Ravens have trotted out there and given what they've done to us this year, I still feel like there's a little small chance they're going to somehow figure out how to lose the bye week. Coming up on today's show, we got some major Ravens trade rumors coming up from Adam Schefter. After that, the Ravens get a triple dose of bad news. I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. And then, before we get on out of here, of course, we are going to do our live Ravens Rundown Mailbag. Your questions, my answers. It is my favorite part of every single week. And I already see a ton of people getting their questions in the live show. Those are the real ones. Be a real one for me and answer this in the comment section down below. What is your percent chance the Ravens make the playoffs? Scale it for me 1 to 100. Same exact question that I asked you guys in the live poll. And the funny thing is the two highest percentage answers were 100 to 76% and 1 to 25%. So over 50% of people here either believe we're definitely going to make it or we are not going to make it. You guys let me know which side you lie on. Gage, if we were to ask you this exact same question, where would you lie?
I would still lie 100 to 76%.
Really?
I still feel optimistic. Yes, it's a slow start, but out of the bye week, like you said, the schedule gets easier. It's going to get a little bit easier for them in the long run. So I think going into this bye week, they'll get a lot of stuff situated and figured out, and they'll get a bit more organized after that.
I hope you're right, man. If you would have asked me if they split those last two games, if they went in 2-4 instead of 1-5, I would have said I think like a 50 or 60% chance. But because they're going in 1-5 and they lost both the games and they didn't have Lamar in, and they, have been doing what they've been doing, I think I'm sitting at like a 33% chance. I think there's a 1/3 chance. But y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Attendance Squad is here. Digitalized Fantasy is here. Joshua saying, no way we make the playoffs. Mog saying lost value for not trading Andrews and lost value from not playing Keaton, but having him involved with trade rumors. They found a way to lose the bye week already. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that I feel like might be in this comment section that I know were in my comment sections back in the offseason when I was talking about trading Andrews. Everybody was calling me an idiot. Everybody was calling me not a real Ravens fan because I wanted to trade away Mark Andrews. Guess what? You might trade him away in the next couple of days, and you sure as hell wish that you would have done it a couple of months ago. Isabella saying, hey, what's going on? FAS saying not only make it, but won the Super Bowl. Book it. Wow. I like that. I like that a lot. Welp is saying 41%. Fierce saying 45%. Don saying 5% chance. Attendance Squad still feeling good with 40%. Digitalized Fantasies going 0%. Mog says, I was emotional in my vote, but it's definitely 75 to 51% chance. God's favorite saying 99%. So you guys are kind of all over the place. I would vote in the 26 to 50 range if I was voting on today's live poll. Hey, we got some awesome things coming up. But we also have an awesome raffle that we are giving away at the end of this month. You could win. Look how nice this is. Oh, an Isaiah Likely signed mini helmet. We got it right here. It's still encased, okay? So you know it's legit. You got the signature right there on it. I Likely number 80. Usually, $5 gets you one raffle ticket, $10 gets you 3, and $20 gets you 7. But on our live shows during the week, we like to do some special deals. If you guys want to get in and get yourself a raffle ticket, we're going to be raffling this off Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins. Here is what they are. $5 gets you 3 tickets, $10 gets you 6, and $20 gets you 15. So if you want to super chat or donate via Venmo or Cash App, you guys just let me know. We'll be able to make that happen. If you want a raffle ticket to win the signed Isaiah Likely mini helmet, just go ahead and send in those super chats, $sign, right next to the chat box down below. Do you guys think that John Harbaugh should be fired? Give me a yes or a no in the comment section down below. This is something we've talked about a lot over the last couple of weeks. Gage, what do you think?
I mean, I get where they're coming from, but I say no. I mean, he is probably the one that can keep the glue together right now. And yes, it's not looking good right now, but I think just to keep him.
Okay.
Keep him.
Attendance squad to Joey. It's been a while since I saw you do a Ray Lewis dance. That is fair. First person to super chat today. Doesn't have to be a new super chatter. First person that does it, I'll do a Ray Lewis dance. I think they should fire him. And I'm not saying that he is a bad football coach, although I think he's a little bit overrated. I think that he wouldn't have a job without Lamar Jackson. I digress, okay? I would fire John Harbaugh. But I'm also saying if I'm a team like the Miami Dolphins or the Tennessee Titans that need some form of stability, I would hire John Harbaugh in their shoes in a second. But we just don't need that right now. We need something new. We need something fresh. We need something different. And right now, John Harbaugh is not that.
Who would you want instead?
Number one's Brian Flores. You get a guy who fits this mentality. He's been a head coach before, so he has experience. He's a great defensive mind. He fits that play like a Raven, mantra that's in Baltimore. I think he would be a home run perfect hire. If you guys want to get on the show later, use hashtag Ravens in the chat or Super Chat to get on today's Q&A. Super Chat guarantees you getting on the show. If you use hashtag Ravens, you have a chance to get on the show, okay? So if you got a question, ask it using hashtag Ravens. Example, hashtag Ravens. If John Harbaugh was fired, who would you want them to hire? Great question right there. Somebody, I'll give you permission to steal it from me. All right, use those hashtag Ravens and get down in the comment section because we got a live mailbag coming up, number 3. Do you want the Ravens back in the win column? If you do, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video, okay? Hit that thumbs up button, okay? We got 28 likes, 100 people watching. I need us to get to at least 50 before we get started with today's show. Terrence Cole saying Brian Flores was 1-15 at Miami. Harb's is a constant winner. I don't think that is true. Is that true, his final year at Miami? No, he was never 1-15. So, Terrence, you just made that up. He went 5-11 and then 10-6 his second season, 9-8 in his third season. He got fired because he didn't really know how to handle Tua. But I think he's learned how to handle these players kind of throughout the rest of, his time in the National Football League. Cameron and Isabella, you got to use hashtag Ravens in the question, just like ATL Ghostface did, okay? So, that's a great example for you. Make sure you keep hitting that thumbs up button. We're at 43 likes. We need 7 more, okay? 7 more likes, and then we'll get started with today's show. Coming up, we got major Ravens trade rumors. That is our first segment. We're getting these from one Mr. Adam Schefter. And then we're going to go into some triple dose of bad news. And they're going to round this thing out as we always do with our live Ravens mailbag. Okay? Fierce Outdoors coming in with a $10 super chat gauge. Let's get that up before we go into the next segment. Show him a little bit of love. He also got himself, 14 raffle tickets right there? 15? Yeah, I think he got 15 raffle tickets. Mog saying if we lose a couple more losses right after the bye, then season down the drain. 6 raffle tickets for 10. There we go. It's 15's 20. 3 likes away from getting a 50 likes. Come on, come on. Oh, didn't have it open. My man Fierce Outdoors. My man Steven Johnson checking in, hanging out. Fierce, I didn't see you much on Sunday. We missed you, but glad we got you there at the end of the day. Oh, wait, I got to do the Ray Lewis dance because Fierce sent it in. Hey, let's go. Fierce saying, let's get excited for the next game. Fierce, I'm juiced. I'm ready to see Lamar Jackson playing Ravens football again. I cannot wait. Who would you want the Ravens to trade for? One, I'm thinking Kevin Zeitler. Larry, stick around. Our first segment, I mentioned Kevin Zeitler. You're going to love it. Don't go anywhere, okay? Alrighty. Like I promised, trade rumors coming at you. These ones straight from the man himself, Adam Schefter. Gage, are we ready to roll? All right, this one's coming at you right now. Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Petersen. We got some trade rumors to talk about. These all coming straight from ESPN's lead insider for the National Football League, one Mr. Adam Schefter. He released an article earlier this week that outlined around 33 players that he believes, per his sources, will be on the trade block until the NFL trade deadline. Make sure, speaking of deadlines, we got into the end of the season to get on top of Steelers talk, and right now, they're up 23 subscribers. Not terrible. We've been closer. We've been further. Regardless, we're in second place. I need you guys to help me out, okay? Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It locks you in for daily coverage. And, oh, did I mention? It's free. The NFL trade deadline is sneaking up closer and closer by the day. Of course, I'm talking about Tuesday, November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Already, earlier this week, I believe it was Tuesday's show, we covered that Mark Andrews is the only one that's a Baltimore Raven that was specifically mentioned by name in Adam Schefter's article. Here is it exclusively. The list of trade candidates that executives and coaches believe could be available in the next few weeks features multiple high-profile players, including Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Trey Hendrickson, Mark Andrews, Bradley Chubb, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Breece Hall, Cameron Jordan, and Reek Woolen. So you see Mark Andrews right there after Trey Hendrickson, and it feels like, personally, he's going to get traded anytime soon. I'll just tell you right now, I'd be a little bit surprised if November 4th comes and goes, and on November 5th, Mark Andrews is still a Baltimore Raven. And it's frustrating because if he was traded in the offseason, you would have saved around $11 million in cap space. Well, now if he's traded, he'll save around $7 million, $4 million less. If he was traded in the offseason, I'm confident you could have gotten in return a fourth-round pick in the 2025 or 2026 NFL Draft. Well, now that you didn't do that, you're going to trade him in the season, you're probably getting a fifth-rounder at best. And I know that seems unrealistic, guys. I promise you. Other than Mark Andrews, there were no other Baltimore Ravens listed by name, okay? Coming up, I'm going to tell you 5 names that Adam Schefter listed that I believe the Baltimore Ravens should look at and maybe try to swing for in a big trade. Before that, though, make sure you get in that comment section down below and let me know straight up, okay? Should the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Yes or no? I know it's a loaded question. He's got a lot of history in Baltimore. You might not want to answer it, but I want you to. Give me a yes or a no in the comment section down below. So Baltimore is in an interesting spot because they go into this time where you're getting closer to the trade deadline, and you have 5 draft picks in the 5th round. If there's anything we know about Eric DeCosta is that he loves hoarding as many draft picks as he can. Last year, I believe you had 4 fourth-round picks, and you didn't trade any of them in the offseason. And I desperately wanted you to, and I want that to happen again this year. You don't need 5 fifth-round picks. You also have 2 picks in the 7th round. You're the Baltimore Ravens, Super Bowl contenders, and I get it. It's hard to hear that. It's hard for me to say that when you're 1-5. But if you believe coming into this season you can win a Super Bowl, and you believe you could do that in the future with a guy like Lamar Jackson at the helm, what the hell do you need 11 or 12 draft picks for? You could swing it with your draft picks. You could swing it with your cap space. You're sitting at $14.25 million in cap space right now. That is the richest you have been since, I don't know, halfway through last season. So when we talk about who I want them to trade for, when we talk about these candidates, I'm looking at 5 of the Baltimore Ravens' biggest needs, okay? Edge rusher, interior offensive line. I think that's 1 and 2. Linebacker, defensive line, cornerback depth. I think those final 3 could kind of go in any order. Maybe interior defensive lineman of those final 3 is the most important. Regardless, these are the 5 things, in my opinion, that you need. So let's start with edge rusher. How about Jaelan Phillips of the Miami Dolphins? The Miami Dolphins, if you guys don't know, it's almost guaranteed that they are going to be sellers at the deadline. And our great friend, Ricky Scoops, we like to call him the People's Insider, he made his return to Twitter this week. I believe it was on Wednesday. And he said the Dolphins are actively shopping Jaelan Phillips, a name to watch, as the trade deadline approaches. Sounds like Miami is ready to move him. Teams are also calling about Chubb, Waddle, and Achane, okay? Phillips has been really the only good thing about Miami on defense. Their defense has been horrible. Their team has been horrible. But Jaelan Phillips has shined throughout this season, kind of like he's been doing throughout the entirety of his career. If you look at the stats and the PFF grades, they're pretty dang solid. Overall is a 66.9. Pass rush grades at an 80.1. That's top 15 in the NFL. 20 pressures on the season, only 1 sack. But still, 20 pressures is phenomenal. The cost would be up there around $8.5 million. And that's because he is on the final year of his deal. So he has a pretty expensive contract right now. And if you traded for him, I feel like it would be a, trade and sign, opposite of a sign and trade, where you trade for a guy and then extend him on that contract. Drop a name for me down below. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for. I've given you 1 name. I'm about to give you 4 more, but I want to hear from you guys down below in that comment section. While you're down there, I got to tell you about our awesome, awesome friends over at PrizePicks. If you download the PrizePicks app right now, use our code CLNS, you can get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You could double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. My alma mater, the University of Tennessee, has their biggest game of the year this weekend on the road against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Give them more on Chris Brazzell, 26.5 longest reception. Give them more on Joey Aguilar, 233.5 pass yards. And Ty Simpson's good, but I don't know why. I'm feeling it. Give them less than 2.5 passing touchdowns. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comment section and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. We talked edge rusher. Let's talk offensive guard. How about this beautiful, familiar face? One Mr. Kevin Zeitler. It makes way too much sense because you look back to 2023 and the 2024 offseason where you let him go. You let him walk. And it feels like since then, you have just been regretting it, especially this year with how it's gone with Daniel Falele. Well, now Kevin Zeitler is able to be gotten again, and he's having a pretty good season in Tennessee. 69.5 overall grade, that's top 20. Pass blocking grade is top 17. Run blocking, he's at a 66.6. Kevin Zeitler, to you, would be a 1-year rental. And in my opinion, I don't think that's necessarily that bad of a thing. Because you get him for the next 11 games. You feel like you might be able to make a run to a Super Bowl, or at least, sorry, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. Start winning some football games, okay? And then, in the offseason, he'll be 35. If you feel like you want to move on, great, move on. You have Emory Jones right behind him, and you've got your brand new young offensive guard. It's picture perfect. Kevin Zeitler, please replace Daniel Falele. Shelby Harris, this is a name that isn't the sexiest of names. Doesn't quite jump off the page like the other two. But at this point, like in my opinion, if you think about your defensive line, You just need some guys that are going to give you some good football. And Shelby Harris is going to give you some good football. His overall grade's a 66.4. Run defense, 72.0. For those guys in the interior of the defensive line, I don't need you to be Jeffery Simmons. I don't need you to go out there and give me 5 sacks and 70 pressures. That'd be great. But if you can just be solid and run stopping and give me good depth on the defensive line, I'll be happy. Because like I said before, at this point, you just kind of need bodies. You just kind of need guys. These guys are dropping like flies. Anais Peebles found himself on the injury report. Travis Jones has found himself on the injury report. You don't have Nandi Madubuike for the rest of the year. And I personally would prefer a bigger swing like one Jeffery Simmons. But unfortunately, and we're going to go into this probably tomorrow, Adam Schefter doesn't believe he's available for trade. And so if you're going to get a defensive tackle, Shelby Harris seems like a realistic one because, of course, as we know, the Cleveland Browns, they're ready to get rid of everybody and start over. Let's talk another Titan. This one in the cornerback room. How about Roger McCreary? Kind of in the same vein as Shelby Harris. Not a super sexy name. Not a name that everybody's talking about. But a guy that's just a good football player, okay? And he's young, which is what I really like. 24 tackles on the year, an interception, a couple of pass breakups as well. He wouldn't cost you a ton. And you need the depth in the cornerback room. Plain and simple. And you could get a guy who's graded at 78 overall, coverage grade 73.6, top 25. Receptions allowed, 19, that's top 10. And again, I get it. PFF isn't gospel. I'm not saying it's the end-all, be-all. But I really like this option. I do. Jair Alexander, I'm sorry, he's not doing it for me this year. He's not doing it really for anybody. Marlon Humphrey's in and out of the lineup with injury. He's young. He's cheap. He's good. You got a lot of cornerbacks injured as well. TJ Tampa's been Chidobe Awuzie, he's been on the injury report. Like, come on. Make a move. Get yourself some depth in the secondary where you really, really need it. Pick one to trade for out of those 4 names. Jaelan Phillips, give me a JP. Kevin Zeitler, give me a KZ. Shelby Harris, give me an SH. Or Roger McCreary, give me an RM. Before we round this thing out, okay, I'm going to give you guys a spicy trade. Here is my spicy trade. Give Cincinnati a call about Trey Hendrickson. Why not? We've seen Cincinnati do dumber things in their history. I get it. Intra-division trades are not very common, especially for superstar edge rushers like Trey Hendrickson. But what's it going to hurt to just pick up the phone? I would do it. And I hope Eric DeCosta does it as well. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys have me followed on social media. I'm everywhere, as in Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Okay, youtube.com/RavensTV. Join us today. So then again, you could join us tomorrow. Drop an A for me. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for. Let me know in the comment section down below. A lot of people want Kevin Zeitler. Ravens want Kevin Zeitler. Drippy wants him. Tom wants him. Hell no, Trey ain't coming here. Flacco's one thing. I know, I get it. That's why I said spicy. I didn't say realistic. I didn't say definitely going to happen, but I said spicy. Sorry, I have 20 texts from my wife and my father-in-law. Let's see. Great. Okay, nothing's wrong. That's good. Attendance Squad wants KZ. Mog saying Trey is too old. ATL saying, what about Stephon Gilmore and Justin Simmons? Both those guys are free agents. I wouldn't mind signing either one of them. Trey Casey wants KZ. Larry Cook wants JP and KZ. No one wants to play for this horrible organization, says Magna Rads. Luke says, congrats on the baby. Don't have a baby. Maybe one day. I want a Marlowe gone since I heard he was partying right after the AFC Championship loss a few years ago. Trey Casey says, I'm not old enough to. Justin Simmons and Gilly lock, says ATL Ghostface. I don't understand why we let Casey walk in the first place. I'd hire John Gruden. That would shake up the NFL, says Ryan Smith. Hey, make sure you guys keep getting in those questions. We have a ton already, but I want you guys to keep asking anything about this year, anything about free agency, anything about the trade deadline, anything about a record prediction, Lamar Jackson, my dog, my wife, Gage. Anything you got, ask me down below in the comment section. Just make sure you use those hashtag Ravens. Also, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and liking today's video. 72 likes, 102 watching. Give me 28 more likes, and then I'll be satisfied. We can get to 100 likes. That's always the goal. 100 likes by the end of the show, and that's great. Okay? That is great. Magnarad saying, trash coach, trash GM, trash owner. Lots of trash right there. Trash coach for sure. Trash GM, maybe. I still like Eric DeCosta. Trash owner, probably, for letting John Harbaugh stay as long as he has. Okay? 76 likes. We are 24 likes away, ladies and gentlemen. What's the question? Ooh. Is there something wrong with Malachi Starks? He just might not be that good of football, unfortunately. Trash QB? Magna Rads, there's no way Magna Rads is a Ravens fan. I cannot. There's no way.
He can't be talking about Lamar Jackson.
All he's been doing is just talking the Ravens in the comments, so there's no way. Okay? No way. Juan saying, why couldn't we trade for Simmons or Crosby realistically? Crosby's too expensive. Apparently Tennessee wants to keep Jeffery Simmons. So, those are your two answers right there. I agree. I think they see what Chris Jones is, and they believe they have something like a Chris Jones. They see what Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes have done, and they might believe they have something similar. I don't know. Dude, they need so much. They're so far from being a good football team. That's the thing. Okay, 79 likes. Let's get to 85. Okay? Once we get to 85, we will get started with our second video, which is a triple dose of bad news, unfortunately. Fire Harb, says Tanisha Johnson. Hey, reminder, we're raffling off this Isaiah Likely signed mini helmet at the end of the month. If you want a raffle ticket, send a super chat in. You'll get your raffle tickets. Okay? Plain and simple as that. Starks and Green are just young and thrown into a terrible situation. Yeah, I agree. We are 5 likes away from getting into our next segment. Keep on hitting that thumbs up button. If you've liked the video, type me. I'll give you a shout out. When we were filming videos before this, Gage, I accidentally was drinking that sparkling water, and I had to burp like 30 times. I think it was the Tennessee one. No, but I drank too much of it, I think. It was not a good idea, unfortunately. Does it to me, apparently. Fierce has liked it. Welp has liked it. Who else? Bad news, unfortunately. Steven, Mike Green a bust. No, I'm going to give him some time as well. I'm going to give these guys some time. Okay. Are we ready to roll Gage Kilborn? Is it Kilborn or Kilburn? That's what I thought. Yeah, it's fair. Kilborn. What's your middle name? Yeah, mine's David. So right back at you. Want send Roquan to San Fran for a second and third round. Don't think they'd give second and third. given the fact that when you traded for him 3 years ago, you gave up only a second, fifth. But I get your sentiment. I get it. Okay, keep liking the video. 124 people watching. Let's get into our next segment. Bad news, triple dose, coming up for you right now. The Baltimore Ravens got some bad news from this man right here. One Jeremy Fowler, one of ESPN's lead analysts for the National Football League, lead insiders, released an article talking about a ton of trade rumors across the league. And in the beginning of the week, there were a lot of positive notes. Not so much at the end of the week. Of course, that NFL trade deadline is coming up very, very soon. It just gets closer and closer and closer. November 4th, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time is when all trades have to be finalized. And in my opinion, I would love for Baltimore to make some type of a move, okay? Because they kind of need to. There's a lot that this team needs. Edge rusher, interior offensive line help, linebacker, interior defensive line help, cornerback depth. You have a lot of needs to satisfy, and you don't have a lot of time to do it. Speaking of something I don't have a lot of time to do, I only have to the end of the day. Because the boss has said, I need 20 subs off today's video or else. And they just sent that in a Slack, left it at that, and I've been anxious ever since. So I need you guys to help me out. Keep me out of the boss's office, okay? Hit that subscribe button. In return, you get daily videos, all 100% free right here at the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. So that first dose of bad news, Keaton Mitchell, Baltimore Ravens running back, could be dealt sometime between now and the NFL trade deadline. Jeremy Fowler with a little bit more on Baltimore's favorite running back. Behind it, McKinnon. And here's a change of pace option. Baltimore's Keaton Mitchell. He has game-changing speed, but is the odd man out in the Ravens' backfield. It's worth noting that Chargers GM Joe Ortiz was with Baltimore when the team signed Mitchell as an undrafted free agent in 2023. So he mentions him by name as a running back he feels like could get dealt. And this would be so unbelievably frustrating if this happens. Because it has been such a frustrating season for Keaton Mitchell, if we're being honest. And it's been a frustrating season for those of us who really, really like Keaton Mitchell. Because we've had to go game after game, week after week, and we've had to guess whether he's even going to be in the lineup or not. Weeks 1 through 4, he was a healthy scratch every single one of those. And then week 5, he's active. Well, he only got 4 snaps on offense, 16 on special teams. Week 6, active again. Well, only 3 snaps on offense, 6 on special teams. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And I get it, right? He tore his ACL a year ago. I get it if you would never have played him last year, but you kind of rushed him back. He didn't look himself, so you've given him the rest of this offseason to rehab. And what we saw during preseason, it felt like he was back to his rookie form. He was phenomenal that first game against the Indianapolis Colts. Him and Derrick Henry could be such a dynamic running back duo, but for some reason, they don't see that. And they don't even have him on the roster. It makes no sense to me. And honestly, for Keaton Mitchell, I think I'd be happy for him if he gets dealt. I think I'd be happy for him if he goes somewhere where they see how good of a football player he is. If he goes somewhere that will actually utilize him in an offense instead of either making him dress in street clothes for a game or only playing him for 9 combined snaps. 3 places I would look out for that could possibly trade for Keaton Mitchell. Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? They are in desperate need for running back help. I mean, they're still trotting out Kareem Hunt. What is it, 2017? Number 2, Los Angeles Chargers. Like Jeremy Fowler mentioned, Ortiz is the owner out there, the general manager out there in Los Angeles. He fell in love with Keaton Mitchell the first time, and they've had some running back injuries themselves. Number 3, Arizona Cardinals. Talk about running back injuries. Both Trey Benson and one James Conner. That's it. both of them on IR. DeMarcado, the third-string running back, he's questionable to play on Sunday. Like, those three teams, keep an eye out on because they need some running back help. Do you want the Ravens to keep Keaton Mitchell? If you do, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video, okay? If you want the Ravens to keep him in Baltimore, like today's video. Something I know you will like for sure is if you go to chatsports.com/purple hoodie, you can get this hoodie for an unbelievable discount, okay? Unbelievable. It looks great. It feels great. And we all know winter is coming. 2 months away till winter in Baltimore. Probably what? Half a month away till it's really getting cold? You're going to need a new hoodie. And if you want to get it at a great price, go ahead. Check us out, chatsports.com/purple hoodie. I'll put that link in the comment section. Also, description of today's video. Second up for the Ravens, bad news. Jeffery Simmons, it seems like he is staying put. Unfortunately. Much to my chagrin. Okay? Jeremy Fowler with more on the defensive tackle. And the plan right now, the Titans, is to keep defensive tackle Jeffery Simmons. He's unquestionably the Titans' best player and turns 28 in July. And I'll tell you this right now. This sucks. I'm not going to lie. I know we need an edge rusher, but Jeffery Simmons, in my opinion, felt like the perfect fit in Baltimore. He was my number one target. Like, if Max Crosby was realistic, Crosby would probably be my number one target, but he wasn't realistic just because of the price of him. But Simmons, you probably would have traded a third rounder, but you'd be able to afford the cost given what you have right now in cap space. He was my number one realistic target just because I felt like he would bring some of that juice, some of that swag, some of that physicality and toughness we haven't seen all year. And he's been phenomenal. I mean, he has been such an unbelievable football player this year. 85.3 overall grade, pass rush grade of 91.3, 27 pressures, 5 sacks. And that $14.8 million cost, you'd be able to afford it. If I'm Eric DeCosta, though, I'm putting my bald cap on. I'm taking this right here. And I am calling every single day the Titans GM. And saying, hey, look, I know you're restarting things. You got a new quarterback. You got a lot of things. You're going to have a new head coach. How about you give your new head coach a new quarterback some more draft picks? How about a third? Okay? Offers on the table. What would you offer for Jeffery Simmons? You let me know down below in the comment section. Would you add in Mark Andrews? Would you offer something totally different? I don't know. I want you guys to let me know down below. The third dose of bad news. John Harbaugh's job security. It seems like even after a 1-5 start, even after what is the most disappointing Baltimore Ravens season, probably in the last decade, seems like he's probably not going anywhere. Dan Graziano with more. The fire Harbaugh chants at Baltimore's Week 6 game against the Rams are worth addressing. Anything is possible, of course. If a team continues to lose games, it's expected to win at a high rate. But at this point, I don't think John Harbaugh is in any danger of losing his job, which just sucks to hear because I want to at least know that it's something being thought about. I cannot have this front office, this organization, just be satisfied with mediocrity. And my biggest fear for Baltimore is they go 8-9. They barely miss the playoffs. They end up with like the 15th pick in the draft. But because they rattled off 7 wins in their last 11 games, John Harbaugh keeps his job. That is stuff that is in my nightmares. And I get it, right? He'd be a top head coaching candidate. I'm not arguing with that. If John Harbaugh gets fired and he's available, there will be teams lining the door to hire him. And if I'm Miami or Tennessee, like if I'm either of those teams, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably hiring them. But those teams need stability. They need something brand new. They are in absolute turmoil, very far from competing. Baltimore, in my opinion, they got so many pieces there. They just need something fresh. They just need something new. 18 years is a long time, and at some point, your message grows stale. And I think we all agree that's kind of how it feels with Baltimore and John Harbaugh. That's going to do it. We're going to get out of here. Make sure you guys follow us on social media. Follow me on social media. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. A subscription costs you nothing. It signs you up for nothing. And it locks you in with the best dang coverage you'll ever find of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm curious. Let me know. What would you offer for Jeffery Simmons? Tom says send Harbaugh to Tennessee. Ooh! Wow. Okay. That's spicy. That is spicy. Speaking of spicy things, we got a $2 super chat from Asmodeus Thanatos. Asmodeus, I got to know, is this a real name? Because if so, that's sick as hell. I'll just tell you that right now. $2 super chat. I'll go ahead and throw a raffle ticket your way, Asmodeus. Gage, can you update down the bottom of the doc? Give the 6 to our man Fierce and 1 for Asmodeus. Calling it now, the Ravens will be sellers. I think you might be right. But I also think if they beat the Bears and they beat the Dolphins, then you're like, okay, they're probably going to be buyers. Right? That, in my opinion, probably makes the most sense. But it's a fair question or fair statement. Gage, make sure that when I'll write it in the script, okay? Great. Yep. Just follow along and you'll be able to do it. 77 for Jeffery Simmons. Daniel Falele would not be able to get in return a bag of Funyuns. I think Harbs is gone after the season. Lamar can't save his job again. We see what this team is with and out Lamar. Ryan Smith says JP. Ravens are selling the house, says the dog whisperer. Joey, why do you think Monken is not having the best season this year, even when Lamar was playing? That's hard because even when Lamar was playing, this team still averaged like 32 points. So it's hard to say he wasn't having the best season, but he does have far more questionable calls than he did last year. And I don't know why that is. I think people have gotten to see 2 years of Todd Monken. Maybe they just have more tape on. I don't know. Andrew to the Broncos says King Yo-Yo. Not bad. Not bad at all. Dre Greenlaw. Designated to return from IR. Greets from Germany, says Jarmo. What's going on? Good to see ya. All right, we got one more segment coming up for you guys. Gage, are we good on questions? Yeah, no worries. I feel like we're probably good on questions. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, do your thing. I was kind of just talking to the audience. Also, this Vol's cooking. The one we did, yeah. Andrews in a 4th for Simmons, says Sasquatch. I like it. Juan, Ravens probably didn't watch last year's Super Bowl where the Eagles were able to get Mahomes rushing for the blueprint to beat the Chiefs. I don't think the Ravens have done much since the offseason. Looks like they've just sat on their hands and picked their noses, if I'm being honest with you. Hey, we are 6 likes away from 100 likes. That is the goal every single live show, so I need you guys to help me get there, okay? Hit that thumbs up button, like today's video. Help us get to 100 likes while we're live, okay? 100 likes while we're live. I need you guys to help me out. Do me a big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. We could trade Andrews for J.C. Horn, says ATL Ghostface. I don't hate that at all. Okay. Gage, are you ready to roll? Larry, just found out about the podcast a couple days ago. Love the content. Larry, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. It means a lot to me. Alrighty, final segment. Then we're going to roll on out of here. It's mailbag time. Appreciate all of you guys who have already put in questions. We'll get to most of them. And all that is coming at you right now. It's mailbag time right here at the Ravens Rundown, and we're just going to jump straight into it with our first question from Biker Gang. Should the Ravens sign Eric Kendricks in free agency? Great question. And honestly, Biker Gang, I'm going to go ahead and give you a resounding yes. Eric Kendricks led the Dallas Cowboys in tackles. Guess what? Last year, 2024. I think you need something at linebacker. I think you need a little bit more juice at linebacker. Eric Kendricks, in my opinion, could be a starting linebacker in this league tomorrow. Teddy Buchanan, he's just not there yet. But he's a rookie, so I'm going to give him time. But in that time, I think we can bring in a guy like Eric Kendricks to help out. We all know that Trent Simpson really hasn't lived up to his billing. I wish they'd played Jay Higgins more, but apparently they're allergic to doing that. Roquan Smith's still injured. Even when he was healthy, he wasn't playing his best football. So give me Eric Kendricks. I want it. You think the Ravens need help at linebacker? If you do, show me by hitting that thumbs up button and liking today's video. What say you? Do you think they need help at that position, or do you think they're all good? Cast your vote by hitting that thumbs up button. Up next, from the coolest name we've ever gotten a super chat from, Asmodeus Thanatos. I hope that's real. Calling it now. The Ravens will be sellers. Okay. I get what you're saying. The NFL trade deadline is on November 4th. So from today to November 4th, the Baltimore Ravens will play 2 football games. If they go into the trade deadline at 2-6 or 1-7, they will be sellers. But if they start to stack some wins together and they go into the trade deadline 3-5, I think they might be buyers. Because they will probably convince themselves they can make a run, make the playoffs. Then once they get in, who knows what's going to happen. Yaml coming up next. Hashtag Ravens. How big of an impact do you think Pat Ricard's return will have on the offensive production? Great question, Yaml. I'm going to ask you to do something, Gage, for me. Go in photos. Show me the goal line play from the game against Los Angeles, if you don't mind. Thank you so much. Shout out to producer Gage. I think he's going to make a massive impact because you don't even have a backup fullback. Your backup fullback is a tight end who, if Pat Ricard wasn't hurt, would not even be on this roster. And I think I limited Patrick Ricard's impact when we first found out that he was injured. But I see things like this on goal line plays. Gage, let's roll. You're in I formation, and Andrew Voorhees is going to pull. He's supposed to get the edge rusher. And then Zaire Mitchell-Payton, who would be Patrick Ricard, is supposed to go on the outside, meet that linebacker. That's going to open it up for Derrick Henry. Well, Andrew Voorhees did not pull fast enough. So Zaire Mitchell-Payton had to go ahead and hit Jared first, had to chip him, and then Jared first just took them both on and was able to get to Derrick Henry and drop him for a loss. That, unfortunately, was on 4th and goal. Regardless, I get that. A lot of that play is on Andrew Voorhees, but still some of it's on Zaire Mitchell-Payton. And if you have Patrick Ricard, you can send me back to that question, Gage, or send me full screen. I don't care. If you have Patrick Ricard, the stat that reads, the Ravens are 3 for 8 on rushes of 3rd down and 2 or less. That would not be a stat. I can promise you that right there. Great question. Up next, we got one from Trey Casey. Jaelan Phillips or Kayvon Thibodeau? I think Jaelan Phillips. If Jaelan Phillips was a top 5 pick in the draft like Kayvon Thibodeau was years ago, Jaelan Phillips would have more name value to him. But he wasn't. But what he's doing this season, I like it. And I like him a little bit more of a fit to this offense. Kayvon Thibodeau reminds me a lot of Odafe Oweh, who just did not really have success this year. Jaelan Phillips is a little bit bigger. He's a little bit stronger. But honestly, Trey, if I'm being real with you, I just want somebody who can get to the passer. Attendance squad coming up next. When do you think Lamar will be extended? Also, what do you think the Ravens' schedule will be by the end of the season? Okay. Lamar will be extended, I think, at some point during the year. And if not during the year, it's going to be some point in the first month of the offseason. They cannot go into the calendar league year of 2026 with him still on that contract because he'd be a $70 million cap hit. So it's going to happen sometime in the next 6 months. Now, Ravens record by the end of the season. Is optimistic Joey talking or is pessimistic Joey talking? Because if optimistic Joey was going to answer that question, I would tell you 9-7. Or excuse me, 9-8. If pessimistic Joey's talking, I'm going to tell you 7-10. So likely somewhere in the middle, 8-9. It just all depends on what I can see in the first 2 games after Lamar's back. Then I'm allowed to reassess. McGiblets coming up next. Should the Baltimore Ravens sign Yannick Ngakoue? Well, at the current recording of this video, they have not yet. But I did see on his Twitter on Wednesday that he posted something like, it's time, ... I don't know what that means, but I'm taking it that it means somebody's signing him sometime soon. I don't know if I'm that interested in it. You need edge rushers, but is Yannick Ngakoue the answer to your problems? I don't think so. You signed him last year. This would be his 3rd stint in Baltimore. You released him last year after about a month after you signed him. He didn't really play at all. He didn't look that great. I can promise you he did not get better just sitting on his butt at home over the last year. Growing older another year. I'm not that interested. If it happens, I'm not going to be upset, but I'm not pounding the table to make it happen. Make the call for me. What would you do with Ngakoue? Would you sign him or would you pass on him? S or sign, P for pass in the comment section down below. I know something you don't want to pass up on, okay? $50 in free lineups. You can get that with our friends at PrizePicks. All you got to do is use our code CLNS and play a $5 lineup, then you get 50. So easy. You know, make decisions every single day. Make the right one right here because being right on PrizePicks can get you paid. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same lineup, same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. Follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. Here are my PrizePicks for my alma mater's game against the Alabama Crimson Tide. I went with the more on Chris Brazzell, 26.5 yards, longest reception. The more on Joey Aguilar, 233.5 pass yards. And the less on Ty Simpson, 2.5 touchdowns. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and the description of today's video. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. God's favorite, shout out to you. If Lamar comes back healthy in week 8 and we run the table, does Lamar save Harb's job again? Yes, unfortunately. As much as it pains me to say that, that's just kind of what's going to happen. It sucks, but if you rattle off, you said run the table. So in my mind, run the table means win the rest of your games. If you win 11 straight, ends with 12 wins, John Harbaugh might win Coach of the Year, even though we all know it would be Lamar Jackson doing it. But if you end up with 10 wins, make the playoffs, John Harbaugh is not going anywhere. The only way John Harbaugh goes anywhere, in my opinion, is if you win 5 games or less. ATL Ghostface, what edge rusher should the Ravens claim? Claim or trade for? Because claim, there's not a ton of great options left. Yannick Ngakoue might be the best option. Trade for? I'm going to give you a spicy and then a not-so-spicy pick. Trade, Trey Hendricks. I get it. Probably not going to happen. It's in the division. Just go ahead and give Cincy a call anyway. I don't care. That's my spicy one. My not as spicy one, I don't think Jaelan Phillips is all that spicy. At the current recording of this video, he's not anywhere from Miami yet. And we know on social media, Slick Rick Scoops had a revival earlier this week and said that the Miami Dolphins are actively looking to trade him. So I think the Baltimore Ravens should be interested. I think they should be giving them a call, okay? Go ahead. Call up Chris Greer. See if it can work out. Cameron Cole coming up next. What are the chances we trade for Max Crosby? I believe Lamar could lead us to win every game the rest of the season. Finish 12-5, make the playoffs. Am I crazy? I'm going to answer your first question first. Not high. Max Crosby's cost, not even to trade it, the trade cost would be high, but just your cost and what you'd have to pay him after that outprices the Baltimore Ravens. Now, they could free up some cap space, do some things here or there. I would love for them to just go all in, trade for Max Crosby, make a move. That'd be great, but they're not going to do it. Now, are you crazy to believe they're going to win every game? I don't think so. I know. I might be crazy in saying you're not crazy. Every game that Lamar Jackson plays in, he's able to win that football game. Plain and simple. You're going to have guys healthier. The season's going to go on longer. You got an easier schedule on the back half. You get to play the Jets, Bears, Dolphins, the Bengals twice, the Browns again. Those are 6 games you should win right there. Okay? Then you just got to see what happens with the Vikings, Steelers, Packers, and there's one more game I'm forgetting. I think it's the Broncos? Maybe. Patriots. I don't know. So, no, you're not crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, but you're not crazy. Larry Cook up next. Who would you want the Ravens to trade for? What I'm thinking of is Kevin Zeitler. Or Zeitler. That's a great question. Gage, put my player 4 rank, please, if you don't mind. I would love Kevin Zeitler. I actually did a video just a couple days ago, and Zeitler was one of my top 4 trade options, okay? These are all coming from Adam Schefter's article of guys he thinks will be available. Jaelan Phillips, like I've mentioned, is up there. Kevin Zeitler's up there as well. Roger McCreary, Shelby Harris. I think Zeitler would be awesome. Obviously, we know he'd fit right in. We know he'd probably be a 1-year rental. That's fine. You got Emory Jones coming down the pipe. I think you need the help on the offensive line. I think you need the help on the defensive line more than the offensive line, but I still would love to get Kevin Zeitler back in Baltimore. You never should have let him walk away in the first place, okay? Larry Cook, great question. We got one more question coming up on today's show. Gage is picking it right now. Who is going to be the lucky winner? It is Jarmo. What do you think the price would be for Kayvon Thibodeau? Second rounder? Yeah, probably a second-round pick. Second and like a 6. The good thing is you got a second-round pick. You got 5 fifth-rounders. You got 2 seventh-rounders. You have draft capital. You always have draft capital. Okay? So, great question. That's what I think the price would be. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys have me followed on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I also made it super easy for you. Both those places. Same exact handle. Make sure you're spelling Petersen right. S-E-N, not S-O-N. And make sure you're subscribed. All right, that's going to do it. 110 likes. Bang, 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 bang. Y'all crushed it. 110 people watching. It was a great day. Great show. Gage, crushed it as always. And we're so appreciative you guys are here. We're going to head out. Well, you know what, Gage? I'm going to give everybody 2 more minutes. If you want to, yeah, sure. If you want to super chat in to get your last claim of raffle tickets for the Isaiah Likely signed mini helmet, right now is the last chance to do so. You got 2 minutes to get your super chats in. $1, $2 is 1 raffle ticket. $5 is 3. $10 is 6. $20 is 15. Okay? Once the timer's out in about 1.5 minutes, we're going to get on out of here, but I want to give you guys a last chance. Make sure you like the video, okay, before you get out of here. Hit that thumbs up button. Was a great show. A tight, productive hour. 3 segments in. You'll see all 3 of those out on the channel later this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it's a great day. Great day to be a Baltimore Raven fan, even though they suck. It was a great day to be here at the Ravens Rundown. Appreciate you guys for being here. Moggs, Joey, how can we get more lives throughout the week? Well, Moggs, y'all continue to bring it this season. If you guys continue to put up these live show numbers, I guarantee you next season we'll do 2 lives a week. Okay? I do too. It's a lot more fun when there's 100 people watching than 30. It's great. Okay, I don't think we're going to get any super chats. We're going to get on out of here. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us as always. We won't see you on Sunday. No game. Bye week. Enjoy the stress-free weekend. Enjoy the weekend without having to cry. I will. Okay? Enjoy the time. Enjoy y'all's day. For producer Gage, my name is Joey Petersen. Fierce with a 5. Great, Fierce. We'll give you 3 more raffle tickets. For producer Gage, my name is Joey Petersen. We will see you next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 Central. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and God bless.